Hey everyone, it's day 77 on the PCT. It's actually Wednesday, the 13th of July. I hiked out of Steamboat today. When you hike out of town, you always get a late start or a later start than when you're sleeping on the trail. So I was able to get about 22 miles in today, even though I didn't get on trail until I think it was 9:40, I believe. And it was a pretty straightforward day. There was a little bit of up, but it wasn't too strenuous. It did rain. I've decided to stop counting the days of rain because it's getting depressing. But I'll acknowledge that it did rain today, and the mosquitoes are atrocious. I'm guessing that if anyone has already gone camping this year and you've gone in an area where the monsoons are heavy, then you've probably witnessed or experienced the flapjack fools and how bad they are. And in the spot where I am right now, which is about 4 miles north of, oh man, it's a lake that starts with an S. What was that lake name? Darn it. Anyhoozy, it's about 22 miles north of Steamboat. When you stop walking, I mean, when you're walking, you're getting harassed by the mosquitoes, but when you stop walking, it's Summit Lake. That's the S I was trying to think of. You get swarmed with between 30 to 50 mosquitoes. Not an exaggeration. Like right now, sitting in I just did my water in my tent because I have mosquitoes above me, mosquitoes inside my rainfly. I have mosquitoes all on my netting here because I have my door open. I have mosquitoes on the stuff that's outside of my tent. Anything that smells like me, they are all over it. And it wouldn't surprise me the green behind me if you see like mosquitoes flying around while I record the video. So it's pretty atrocious. I was hoping, because it's late, it's 8:13. I haven't eaten yet, I haven't stretched, but I finished my water and that kind of stuff. But I was hoping it was going to get cool enough because I continued to climb after I grabbed my water, and I want to say I'm around 11,000, I believe, maybe just a little bit under, and the mosquitoes are still out at 8:15. So apparently it's not cold enough for them yet. I might not be stretching until like 10 o'clock tonight. Hopefully it'll get a little bit cooler around like 9 or 10, and I'll just have to do it by headlamp. Cooking is that's going to be a challenge, so we'll see how that goes. So let's see. I caught you up on the mileage. It was about 22 miles. Getting out of town, I got rained on. I think that's it for trail stuff. I don't think this has to be a long update around the trail. I will say that today I was hiking and Brain Radio kept putting a song in my head. The song is by Ben Folds, and some of you are probably familiar with the band Ben Folds 5, which was in the 90s. But Ben Folds actually has a solo career, a pretty successful one, and like a few years ago, I saw him playing with the Colorado Symphony at Red Rocks, which was a great show. Ben Folds has a song called Late, and in the 90s, there was a musician by the name of Elliott Smith, and I'm not gonna guess on when he passed away because I'm gonna get it wrong. I can't remember if it was the 90s or the early 2000s, but I believe it was the 90s. If you've seen the movie Good Will Hunting, you've heard Elliott Smith music because there's a lot of Elliott Smith music in Good Will Hunting. And unfortunately, Elliott Smith died. It's questionable. I think it was officially ruled a suicide, but there have been questions if that's accurate or not. But before he died, he put together some really good music. And Ben Folds put together the song Late. And basically he says, hey, Elliot, your song's got me through a lot. And I just want you to know that, but it's too late. And so I don't know why that, like, Brain Radio was putting that in my head, but it was a good reminder for, I think, all of us, of making sure that you're letting the people that care about you and you care about know that you care about them, and, want to know how they're doing, like, honestly, and wanting to make sure that, that everything's truly all right, not just on the surface all right, but everything's truly all right. So, I think, like, right before I stepped on the trail, I kind of put together a list of people who I was going to send the link to for this video blog, I guess, the vlog. And I picked some people who I hadn't talked to in a while, and it was my fault. Like, I let that drop, and not sometimes, I'm not good at keeping up with people, especially if they don't live in the same city that I live in. And so, some of you folks that have known me for a while that got the invite, I kind of sent a text and said, hey, I want to reconnect because I realized that there were good people in my life that I let slip away. And I'm going to go hike this hike to kind of get my mind right and kind of get out of depression, and kind of decompress. And then I kind of want to I want to reconnect after I get back and make sure that, we're not losing touch. So, perhaps that's why Ben Folds' song was playing in my head today. Again, the song is called Late. I think it's on the album Songs for Silverman, if I remember correctly. And it's a tribute to Elliott Smith. So it's again, it's just a good reminder. Make sure that you're checking in with the people that you care about, and when you check in, don't be flippant or surface about it. Make sure you're saying, like, hey, truly, how are you? Make sure they realize that you're asking, hey, if it's messy, it's okay. I want to know how you really are. So I think that's it for today. I'm going to try to cook with my hands outside the tent, and that's about it, because I'm hungry, and I don't want to wait till 9 or 10 because I want to get to sleep and get hiking early tomorrow. I have a lot of miles before I get to Rollins, and I've kind of limited the food I'm carrying and increased the miles that I'm hiking because I don't want to be carrying 7 or 8 days of food, and I'm skipping, I think it's called Encampment. It's a city in Wyoming that a lot of hikers are going into, but I kind of want to pick up the pace a bit and make sure that I'm going to get to northern Montana early in September, or at mid-September at the latest. So I've been having to take 0 days in towns to eat town food and get some extra calories in, to make sure that my weight is stabilizing. I have noticed that it has stabilized. So I think one of the major issues that I had was, I may have mentioned this in a previous videos, I went from Creed to Silverthorne, which was 11 or 12 hiking days, without a proper town stop. I stopped at Monarch Pass for an hour and a half. I stopped at Twin Lakes for an hour and a half, and both of those places I just grabbed a couple of things to eat and to, like, basically to put on top of the food I was eating on the trail to try to get some calories, but it wasn't sufficient. Like, it wasn't a day and a half of me eating, either grocery store or restaurant food. It was just me trying to supplement what I'm eating on the trail, and it wasn't enough. Like, a couple of breakfast sandwiches at Monarch Pass store, even though they're delicious, it's not a lot of calories. And picking up like a M&Ms and a muffin at the Twin Lakes store, again, delicious, but not anything that's going to sustain me. And so I think one of the reasons why my weight has started to stabilize is I took a 0 in Silverthorne and ate food. I hiked from Silverthorne to Grand Lake what was that, 5 days, I think. And then I was in Grand Lake and again a 0. And then it was 4 days from Grand Lake to Steamboat and then a 0. So the fact that I've taken 3 zeros in the course of a week and a half, and have been able to eat a lot of town food, has stabilized my weight. So I'm planning on taking a 0 Rollins, but then I'm going to run to the same issue I ran into for Creed through Silverthorn. So I'll just have to, keep an eye on it to make sure that everything's going well. But right now it looks like things have stabilized a bit, so that's good news. Man, there's got to be at least a dozen mosquitoes on the mesh right next to me. It's absolutely disgusting. So wish me luck cooking. It should be fun. And I think I was actually saying something about, oh yeah. So I'm trying to get to Rollins pretty quickly. I'm skipping encampment, just because I think I can press to Rollins, mileage wise, and, get there in about 6 days and then have a 0 and be able to eat town food again. So that's why I want to get up early and get, good mileage tomorrow. So I hope everyone's doing well. Today's shout out is to, Brain Radio for, whatever reason our psyches put songs in our head. So sometimes I think we need to listen to that a little bit more just to kind of ask the question why that song was put in our heads. So shout out to Brain Radio for putting Ben Folds Late into my head so I could remind you folks to make sure and hug the ones you love and make sure that you're checking in with them for reals and not just on the surface. So anyway, I hope everyone's well. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you folks tomorrow.